What's going on YouTube? So this past year I've been collecting and trading Pokemon cards with this website called pokechange.net, a website where you send and receive cards with other people. So it's been pretty useful. I've been trying to complete my Vivid Voltage set. And when you send cards in the mail, it's pretty standard to include some cardboard on either side so it doesn't bend. But I like to take it a step further. I mean, you guys have probably seen my channel. I do a lot of artwork. And I'll often include sketches on these pieces of cardboard within the envelope when I send it out. I think it adds a nice touch. So someone I traded with really liked the sketches that I included, and they asked if I would be willing to trade some artwork for Pokemon cards. So I said, why not? Let's do it. I'll do a painting. And we decided that painting would be of none other than their favorite Pokemon, Snorlax. Everyone loves Snorlax. He's awesome. The Pokemon that only stops eating to sleep. Sounds a lot like me these days. And so I brainstormed up this sketch with the pre-evolved version. You'll see the Munchlax, the regular Snorlax, and the VMAX version, like way in the back. And that was the only way I can include all of them within the frame, was kind of playing around with the depth perception. And this sketch, I think, really creates a cool composition because you kind of have the golden triangle going on with each of their eyes looking at one another. And you'll see this triangle appear in a lot of famous artworks, a lot by Da Vinci. You'll see it in the Mona Lisa and some others. I think it creates a real cool composition. It allows your eye to kind of move around the frame. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start and put some paint on the canvas. Using my sketch as a guide, I'm going to take a little burnt sienna and just kind of roughly block in where each of the characters are going to go. Then I'm going to add a little titanium white to just block in the background. So that way I'm not painting directly onto a blank canvas. So I like to work with what's furthest away, so I'll also block in the background, but you'll see I'll end up changing this later. Now, if you Google what color Snorlax is, he's kind of this blue, green, teal color, other than the cream colored parts. So I did that just by combining a little ultramarine blue and spectral green. But I found myself using a little bit more of the blue to get the color right. And so I added several coats of that color to the characters that were in the foreground. And for the VMAX version, I added a little titanium white because he was a little further back, so the color needed to be a little more muted. As far as a reference for the VMAX version, I didn't have much to go off of other than the Pokemon card itself. So I really relied heavily on this image. You can see I try to model that card pretty closely as far as adding the path, some of the lighter green areas, the bushes and shrubs, and the tree, of course, which I really like how that turned out as far as the shading and detail. And at this point, my phone actually died from recording the time-lapse, but you can see I added in the smaller trees as well as the rocks that were on the Snorlax. And at this point in the painting, I begin starting to do some of the more finer detail work, such as the eyes and the mouth. You can see I add in the tongue, as well as on the VMAX version, his eyes and mouth, which are a little more red. They have like a red glow. I, of course, add in a little shading, and as the talons also go in, and that's just a little titanium white. After that, I went ahead and lined in a bit of the face of the Snorlax, and then blocked in the grass, which was just that same spectral green color. At this point, it was a very interesting part of the process because I didn't quite know what I wanted to do with the middle ground. You can see I added in a bunch of trees, and I try to make everything really misty. Like I make the mountains all misty, but then I didn't really like that, so I tried to brighten it up, and that didn't work out, so I just completely started over. I filled in everything, put in a new skyline, some new mountains that were a little bit flatter, and I made them transpose into like some hills. And you can see even there I'm reworking the hills, and that's a great thing about acrylics. You just don't give up, you keep trying until you end up with something that you like. And so after I put in that last hill, I also added in some trees kind of at the end of that first hill, just to help with the illusion of the size differences as well as the perspectives. And after I touch up the hill of grass with a little detail, I pretty soon move on to the lining portion of the painting. And this is by far one of the most stressful parts of the painting, because if you mess up, you kind of have to restart and repaint over stuff like I did just there. And you can see I'm just using some black as well as a liner marker to go over some of the smaller parts. Okay, so I think the painting has turned out absolutely terrific. I left it out a few days for it to just completely dry, but what I'm going to do now is apply some polyacrylic to give it a nice finish and also help protect it and make it so the colors don't fade over time. So I got the polyacrylic and I went ahead and put on my mask because it does put out some fumes, and brushed it on. And I actually ended up switching brushes and went to a foam brush because it, covered a little bit better. And I love the gloss finish that the polyacrylic gives to the painting. That was completely intentional because a lot of the modern day Pokemon cards have like a glossy finish on the holo foils. So that's a nice reference to that. After waiting a couple days for the polyacrylic to completely dry, it was time to mail it out because it was finished. I put it in an envelope, drew a sketch, wrapped it in cardboard, took it to UPS, and off it was to California. Well, something was coming back. And here it is, the cards that got sent to me. So I'll go ahead and open this. It's like super nicely wrapped, bubble wrap. A lot of bubble wrap. Here it is, nice big bundle of cards. I'll just go ahead and fan out these cards. And not only are the cards he sent awesome, but the sleeves that he included, he cased the cards in, they're so cool. I'm just gonna lay them all out. You can see there's just so many cards, pretty much all the cards I was missing from my set. Oh, and there's Snorlax. And then one of the cooler cards he sent was the Rayquaza Amazing Rare, and then also a really cool promo card he threw in. It's a full art Charizard card, and this just became the coolest card I have now in my card collection. Yeah, and so with that being said, thank you so much to the person that traded with me. These cards are gonna go straight into my binder. I almost have my whole set now. And thank you everyone else for watching the video, checking in on the painting process. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you liked the video, check out some other videos I have, and be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Catch you later.